I want to thank all of you for coming here on what I'm sure are for all of you very busy days. We all have a lot of things to do, and but I'm happy that you found it important enough to come here and discuss and share what you know and share with others what they know about the topic of urban sustainability. When our current and new president, Neil King, first came here, it seems like so long ago I can't actually remember how long ago it was, to talk to us and interview us as to see us, whether or not he would, this would be a place he would want to come hang out. Somebody, and surprisingly, I wasn't the person who asked him the question about, what did he feel about sustainability in the university. And since I'm a doctoral student in environmental studies, and I'm always waiting to hear what somebody has to say about that kind of thing, and I'm like, okay, watch this. And Neil hit the ball out of the park. He answered. He couldn't have, if he had rehearsed the answer for a month, he couldn't have done a better job. I mean, to my mind. He really basically said, what is this place if we're not sustainable? What place do we have in the future of education if we're not attending to something like that? It's to him, clearly it was sine qua non to his mission coming here or wherever he was going to go. So that helped me to make my mind up right away as to who I wanted to see as president of this campus. And since then, he has walked his talk. He has done nothing but support this initiative and a whole set of initiatives going forward from here that he challenged me to kind of corral together in a concept paper for a sustainability initiative for our campus, which over the next several years, I think we'll see several parts of that roll out, and I think it will make this place a very rich place. So, I want to thank Neil for first of all handing me that task in the first place, but also for following up by suggesting this event as part of his inaugural week, and for giving us the backing that we really need to move into the future, to be an institution that isn't just saving energy and changing our light bulbs and doing the right thing that way, but addressing sustainability at every level. So I want to introduce to you all, those of you who haven't met Neil King.
Thank you, Don. I need to point out that I chose the colors of my wardrobe very carefully today, including dipping into the green shelf in my shoe collection. So I want to thank wholeheartedly all of you for being here today, the folks, the faculty and staff and students, primarily our visitors who will form the panel, DJ Waldy, a great honor to have you back with us in this capacity. For folks who don't know Antioch well, and we have our university archivist with us for the week, Scott Sanders, who's sitting here at the front table. We have a long history of, really our origins came out of the abolitionist movement, and we have a long history of being on the edge of social movements. And my view of our role in higher education really is to be an institution of conscience and to use our capacity as a university to help inform the primary social issues and social debates of the day. And there is no more fundamental issue than this today. It really is, and I'm not particularly alarmist or dramatic by personality, but I think it really is a matter of life and death. It really is a question ultimately of survival, and I think we're way behind. We as an institution are way behind, and we culturally are way behind. And so there was no hesitation in trying very aggressively to introduce this topic, this dialogue, into the inaugural activities this week, but to also support Don and his colleagues on the faculty in, quite selfishly, what I hope to come out of some of this conversation is the elaboration of curriculum And we have talked about, and Don's going to talk a little bit about this, the establishment of a Center for Urban Sustainability Activism and Social Justice. We train activists. That's a lot of what we have done as a university and what we're here to do. We're not content just to sort of study things and write papers about them. You know, we're get our hands dirty kinds of people, and this is a field that I think is a natural for us. So I'm excited about this conversation. I want to mention two things. One is the American College and University President's Climate Commitment, and which Don brought to my attention. I am a charter signatory. There are now 400 college and university presidents who have signed this commitment, and I'm hoping that Don's going to talk a little bit about what the commitment commits us to. But I'm delighted to have been on board, and it helps push the internal conversation. And then just opening today's mail from the International Association of University Presidents at their national meeting next year. They have the role of higher education and training the universal citizen is their conference topic, and they've identified 3 themes that they're inviting papers on. One is the challenge of training universal citizens. The other is creativity, efficiency, and awareness, qualities of the complete universal citizen. And the third is the role of universities in sustainable development and world peace. And I sense a paper submission there. So without further ado, welcome. Delighted that we're able to have the conversation today. Great thanks to Donald Strauss for really being the facilitator of this and moving it forward. And thanks in advance for all that folks are going to contribute.
So a couple of things I forgot the first time around. One is I just want to give you a sense of what we're going to do today. Don Waldy is going to get up and stir us up with his eloquence. And then we have a very, very distinguished panel here, and I'm really not kidding. I mean, to me, these are some of the giants of sustainability in Los Angeles and have in many ways influenced my work. Jenny Price, Joe Linton, Dwayne Wilson, Ciel, and Genevieve Bertone, who I'll give you more detail, are all people who are actively and deeply engaged in various aspects of sustainability in Los Angeles and in Southern California in general. I want to thank a few people who have been key to making this event happen, in addition to Neil, who called us out originally to do this. But we had a wonderful planning committee, Anna Cummins, Ron Durgan, Kathy Vargas from Culver City, and then Sandy Lee, our chief operations officer here, and Joanna Gerber, who has been working at breakneck speed this entire week. I don't know if Joanna's still in the room. She's probably off working on something else. But without all that group, we wouldn't be sitting here today, because if this were left up to me, we'd all, probably the tables wouldn't have arrived, and we'd be sitting on the floor. So my sincere thanks to all of you for your tremendous efforts. I want to let Don Waldy speak mostly for himself, because I think he can do that much better than I can. But I can tell you that I read his book when I was an MFA student in the MFA program in creative writing here. And the first thing I did when I finished it was I begged Eloise Klein-Healy to bring Don to campus for one of our residencies, because in his book, in his very short book, Holy Land, a Suburban Memoir, he achieves a kind of compression of thought and word that mostly only poets can do. And in a series of very short breath units, he manages to lay out a compressed history of the city of Los Angeles, a compressed history of a suburban family, his own, and a compressed history of of modern development in Southern California, which is something that's